quite frankly,
All right, good afternoon, everyone. We are All right, good afternoon. All right, good afternoon, everyone. We are delighted to be here together today. This has been a long time coming. I know that we have for the last 2 or 3 years been talking about rolling out our planning and assessment Nuventive software, and we today. A few key areas that we've really are making some improvements, continuing to make improvements as part of our assessment of
both invited me to
and from those discussions with our faculty be able to university just about a year ago. I think it was actually a year ago in October that we that served.
You want to pick something we've always struggled with, or we wonder. It could be something in their clinical or understand.
Have it on PowerPoint, assessment tool, and
On
answer and talk about right now, right? Because we just have 1 year. And when reach out to me or about your message, hand it back over to Rob.
We got our was around
or our students
are where all of the division information lives, and then the planning and assessment areas, that's where you do your work. So summer units will always be read-only for everybody. Planning and assessment areas is always where you will do your actual adding and editing and so forth.
Sarah, as I heard, you're the star of the show, so you are on.
I'm not the star. I think I just have the most slides. I don't think that makes me the star. That just makes me a little over exuberant with my PowerPoint. There's more to connect to as well. And so in that drop down, you also have, let me go back one page again. So here, when you click this drop down, it opens up these other options. You'll also be able to connect to general education learning outcomes and the SEC strategic plan. And once the institutional learning outcomes, those ILOs are approved, that will show up here as well.
Make your plan even more.
All right, that is it for me now. I'm going to hand it back over to Rod to kind of wrap us up with some reminders and open it up to questions.
Well, before you hand it back to me, I'm hand it right back to you. Any real quick questions for Sarah, just in terms of entering things? She did a great job. It just takes a little bit of practice to get used to the fields, or if I click this, what happens, the return button, the save, and all of that. So I'll just stop for a couple seconds. Anybody had really anything immediate that just popped in their head?
It's like with map, it auto saves as you're typing and everything, right?
No, you have to click the save button.
You'd save and then, okay, and then return.
You do have to click save. Good question.
Okay.
You see at the bottom of that screen about questions. I'd be happy to answer, especially questions about writing SLOs or anything that would maybe make your plan even more effective. And Sarah, again, knows the back end, the software side way better than I do. I have learned a lot. I still sometimes wonder what I'm doing when I look through a plan or whatever. I really think it's helpful. It was for me, because your old format is right there where she indicated on that right-hand resource center. It helps you see what you put previously and where that landed in the assessment plan for 1920 in Nuventive. So you can kind of make that little jump. Oh, that's where that goes. I see where this goes now. That's where it was before. I think that resource will answer a lot of questions, remove some doubt in your minds. And then after a while, you'll put that aside. You won't even worry about it. So use the old stuff to kind of guide you through to make some updates. But I think it'll come pretty naturally. It's really laid out well. And again, most of you are familiar from the MAP process as well. And in terms of this academic year, 2020 to 21, we talked about one outcome in the fall, one or two more in the spring. We don't have groups anymore, but some of you last year were in year 2 or maybe year 1 of your cycle. You may have outcomes you want to continue. So you may not have to create a new one. You just have to indicate, I'm going to assess this one or whatever. For some of you who ended your 3-year cycle last year, you may have to come up with a different choice or a brand new one. So that might be a little bit different, but you're going to do that anyway. It's just a matter of doing it in Nuventive. I mentioned, and we will have some open labs the next 3 Fridays. Friday the 16th from 12 to 1. So I believe Sarah, Shauna, and I will just be available together, just kind of like we are here. If you want to pop in and ask a question and duck out, that's great. The following Friday, the 23rd, from 1 to 2. And then the last Friday, the deadline Friday, hope we don't have too many of you, the 30th, also from 1 to 2. But I know these guys are available as well during the week. Shoot me an email. Let me know what your questions are. Happy to answer. A lot of information, but digest it and see what questions you have. A lot of information, but digest it and see what questions you have. In the chat, it says, I will send the link.
Available and
A lot of information, but digest it and see what questions you have.
It looks good. I wonder if I can just close that browser. Close that. The stream looks good. There's one other thing I wanted to test. I happen to have time. Yeah. I'm going to turn off the wireless mic for a minute. And just for fun, we'll go back to the onboard microphone. Not that it's going to really pick up anything. Somebody sneaks in here. But we're going to give this laptop a little bit of a workout. I honestly think that this capture is going to look nicer. I think. So OBS is going to do a better job than the browser capture. But I'll have to go watch it for an hour and make sure that we don't start dropping a bunch of frames or something. But I think we're golden. I think we're golden. Let's go ahead and watch the intersection for the day.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Perfect, thank you. Alrighty. So I'm just gonna start from the top here. I think I know my lines, so. All right. You ready? Cool. Alrighty, so I'm JC, I'm with Heartland Scenic Studio. I am an ETC certified installer. So I installed this system. Our commissioner's standing right over there. He decided to hang out today. Perfect, thank you. Alrighty. So I'm just gonna start from the top here. I think I know my lines, so. All right. You ready? Cool. Alrighty, so I'm JC, I'm with Heartland Scenic Studio. I am an ETC certified installer. So I installed this system. Our commissioner's standing right over there. He decided to hang out today. So these are your different types of racks up here. This is the most brief part of the training, essentially. It's just more for maintenance, cleaning. If you need to call me, I'm here. And then basically I'm just showing you can't mess these up if you call me, right? So we'll start from the top. These are the different types of controllers that you have. You have 5. You have 2 for DMX communication, and then 3 for power. So I'll start with DMX communication. Basically, we use this console here. You plug it into a wall outlet, and it's just a version of communication between this console and the lights, right? And it talks through this panel right here. This is where all of your DMX plugs into. So you plug into the wall, it goes to here, and it tells these things what to do. It tells these things what to do over network communication. It's just for speed. Which network is ran from here to your DMX inputs, to all of these racks. You don't have any network jacks in your system, so 5-pin DMX is what you have here. So that will work fine for your entire system. Most lights don't have a network jack anyway, so that's why we like to do the 5-pin input. So after it gets from the wall to here, it goes to these guys, and these guys are your actual controllers, the power, and all of the things like that, right? So, we'll start with our big gal right here. There's some empty slots. Those are D20s. They were on back order. We're getting those in. Essentially, these are just breakers. You have your airflow modules, which aren't controlling anything. You can look in there and see that there are no wires currently landed on those 2, which means it doesn't have anything in there. It's for a future system upgrade if you decide to ever do that. You don't have to have airflow modules in the system to be sure that there's proper airflow. It's just a placeholder so you don't accidentally shove your hand in your rack. You can fill this entire rack top to bottom. You won't miss anything. These are relay modules. They're essentially just a breaker. To take them out, you flip those breakers off. They're hot swappable, which means you don't need to shut off the rack completely. So you can turn those breakers off. Look at the tuck in there. Tuck in there, which is nice. Put it back in with the breakers still off. They slide in, they're new, so they're going to be a little sticky. And then you just turn those breakers on. With these, you have your breakers on the left-hand side, and you have green signal lights on the right-hand side. If you're ever having issues with, say, try to close that door. Thank you. Awesome. If you're ever having issues with 10, but you're not having any issues with 9, they're always in pairs. And if you ever have issues with them and you want to give us a call, we'll let you know what pairs those are. So essentially, you look at these signal lights, that's your first stop, just to be sure that this rack is communicating with everything properly. If you don't see signal lights, that's your issue. If you do see signal lights, that's not your issue. And it's a great first step in troubleshooting. This is your brain for this processor. This is what tells
go through that also?
Yep. So
Is there switches in that can override this control? Or everything has to go through this?
I have button stations downstairs which are recordable. And essentially all that means is you can control them through here, set your look, and then control them with your button stations downstairs. So this is not necessary for getting your house lights on and off. There's buttons downstairs to do it. This is also not necessary if you record your presets for, say, you have a speech and you don't want somebody here to run this. There's buttons on a touch screen that I've set for you guys that you'll be able to record for those certain things, like I said, like a speech or a class or something, and you'll be able to just use the touch screen instead of having someone here all the time, right? Does that make sense? Sure. Does that answer your question? Perfect. Then this guy, he's your echo relay panel. So if they ever say go to your echo relay panel, this is what we mean. Do you have any questions about this guy? Towards center is on, away from center is off, right?
All right, good afternoon, everyone. We are delighted to be here together today. This has been a long time coming. Are applied in
Each of those goals, a couple of them are.
And we all need it, and the system won't force you to do it, but go quickly on a brand new software system.
Me, because your old format is right there where she indicated on that right hand
Oh, I know, and I should have gone down there. I didn't even think about it. And it's just a version of communication between, which